Hey guys, I'm going to record another video for you today. It's really cold and rainy outside where I am today, so I wanted to build a little heat and I thought it would be nice to share my own practice with you. So I'm aiming for about half an hour, but I'm aiming for it to be a nice holistic all-round workout as well. So let's start with a warm-up as always. I like to start in child's pose. So you can have your knees apart, your knees together, whatever you prefer. Arms out in front of you or by your side. And let's just take a few moments to focus on the breath. So in and out through the nose is what we're aiming for the whole class, even when it starts to get challenging. We try and concentrate on breathing in and out through the nose. That focuses the mind. It really focuses everything on what we're doing on our yoga practice. And that's where you get the meditative benefits of even a very physical yoga practice, okay? Because you are so focused on your practice that all the other clutter in your mind kind of is put on pause, at least for the duration of your practice. So that's really nice. That trains us also to bring calm to our day whenever we need it by focusing on the breath. So we can begin by just like rocking side to side in our little child's pose. We're going to come on to all fours with the abdominals in nice and tight to support your back to begin our warm-up. So let's start with a few cat-cow breaths. So inhale, lift the hips and lift the chest. And exhale, let's round the back. And we'll do that a few times. So inhale, lift the chest, lift the hips. And exhale, round the back. I also like to add a little movement to my cat-cow. So I tend to inhale and scoop forward. And exhale and round back. Do or don't do that, your choice entirely. Inhale, scoop forward. Exhale, round back. So you can choose. Either add that little flow. I just like to add a lot of movement to my poses. But if you would prefer just to do the cat-cow, that's cool too. So inhale and exhale. Let's do one more time. Inhale and exhale. I just find that gets the warm-up going through the legs and through the arms, shoulders as well. So let's tuck the toes under wherever we are, and with the abdominals engaged, let's lift up into our down dog. First down dog of our practice. So let's pedal it out. No doubt the hamstrings and the hips are feeling a little tight. So you can pedal it out. You can lift both heels at the same time and then sink both heels down, just beginning to warm up through those hamstrings. Another nice way to warm up is to have both legs together, bend those knees and take them both over to the right side. So point the knees over to the right and drop the hips down, and you should feel that nice stretch through the right side of the body. And then you can come back to your down dog and the other side. So both knees together over to the left as you sink the hips down. So warming up through the back, body, back the legs, the back itself, and the hips. It's a nice little way to warm up, adding a little bit of twist as well to our warm up. So one more time each side. Twisted dog, you could call this. Okay, and then back to your down dog. And let's just walk it up to the hands. So mosey the feet up to your hands. Bring it up to your fingertips, or let the hands come up off the mat wherever you need to. And remember, keep a little bend in the back of those knees. We're still warming up, so those legs still need a little bend in the knees to not overextend through the hamstrings. So let's inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sort of halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. This time I'm going to stand all the way up to standing. So I'm going to roll it up and take a big breath in as I get to the top. Let's take it into some sun salutations. So exhale, swan dive forward. Fingertips on the mat or on your shins, and inhale, lift the chest. You can step or jump back to your plank pose. So I'll step back for this first one and no doubt jump back in the next one, and you choose whichever you prefer. So from here, for our lower plank, you can totally take your knees down, bend at the elbows, keeping the elbows close into the body, and then inhale into our first little cobra. So later on in the class, the next sun salutation actually, I'll take that up to an up dog. But if you're taking care of your back, or you still feel really, the body is still a bit cold, you can keep it down here in a cobra. So lifting up through the chest, Reaching the chest forward as well. Imagine you're reaching your sternum forward, not just up. So it's a back bend and a heart opener, but take it easy at the beginning of the class. So tuck your toes under when you're ready. Lift the hips up into your down dog and sink your heels. We're going to bend through the knees and either walk up to the hands like before, or you can add a little hop up to your hands. Let's inhale, lift the chest, exhale, fold forward, still a little bend in the back of the knees. We'll flow straight into our next sun salutation. So inhale up, exhale, swan dive forward or arms in front, whatever you prefer. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step or jump back to plank. Knees, chest and chin like we did before, or lower plank. Cobra or up dog. So this is up dog with the hips off the floor. Lifting up the hips, tucking the toes under, sinking the heels down into your down dog. Bend through the knees and either walk or hop up to your hands. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to standing. One more time to generate a little more heat in the body. Exhale, swan dive forward. And inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step or jump back to plank. Knees, chest and chin or lower plank. Cobra or up dog. Lower plank push up and down dog. Let's hold it here in down dog, sinking both heels down. If you're comfortable, go ahead and lift your right leg up into the air in your dog splits. So remember, with dog splits, it doesn't matter how high that right leg goes. Mine tends to go pretty high, but it really doesn't matter. You're just lifting up that right leg. Let's keep the hips squared towards the mat for now. We're going to shift forward into a plank and crunch that right leg in. A little bit of an abdominal drill here. So dog splits, plank crunch. Dog splits, plank crunch. Dog splits, plank crunch. Let's do one more time, and we're going to hold it here in the plank crunch. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Good. Squeezing the knee up towards your chin and up towards your body. And then step that foot forward. Right in between the hands, closer over to your right hand. We're going to lower the back heel down perpendicular to the front, keeping this front leg into a big lunge. We're going to inhale up and open up into a warrior two. So big wide stance, lunging in that leg. This knee is a 90-degree angle or behind your heel. Not all over your toe because that's way too much stress on your knee. So tummies are in nice and tight, the hips are tucked under, shoulders are over your hips and back and down away from your ears. Nice strong arms and looking out through over the middle finger of that right hand. So let's take a big breath in here. And as we exhale, we're going to lengthen through our front leg. So take away that lunge, lengthen through the front leg, and start reaching with your right hand. Reach away, 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 and bring the right hand down to either rest on your shin or touch the floor, whichever works for you for triangle pose. So the left hand reaching up, straight up to the ceiling, tummy is in nice and tight, and you're really opening up the top shoulder in triangle pose. So if you took your bottom hand all the way down to the floor and your top shoulder ended up doing this, it means that you've gone a little too far. You need to give yourself more space to open this top shoulder. So you could try bringing your bottom hand up onto your shin. Okay, so your triangle pose, each of your poses has to suit your own body. Okay, so it's better to have this nice open chest, creating space through the torso, than to be crunching down just to make your hand reach the floor. Okay, so let's have one big breath in here. And as we exhale, we're going to lift the bottom hand off the floor, and we're going to reach the upper body above our front leg. Okay, try and lift up your right hip to make some space in the hip area. Nice long torso. From there, we're going to take our left hand down to the mat and open up our right hand, so into a twisted triangle. So you saw probably my back leg step in a bit. So twisted triangle, really, really tight hips. You're going to need to step that back leg in a bit, which is totally fine. Okay, so if you're very, very open in the hips and warm right now, you might adventure with taking your left hand to the outside of your front foot, and then you can open up your top shoulder even more, reach that top hand up even more. And when you're here in this twisted triangle, think about creating some more space between your right shoulder and your right hip. So if they were crunched up together like this, think about bringing that right hip down and away, and the top shoulder away from your hip. Good, let's have one more big breath in here. And as we exhale, let's come and hover back over our pyramid pose. And we're gonna flow between the triangle and the twisted triangle. So inhale and open up into your triangle. Exhale, take it into your twisted triangle. Because we're gonna flow, probably keep the hand on the inside of the foot. So inhale to the middle. Exhale, open up into triangle. Inhale through the middle. Exhale, twisted triangle. Inhale through the middle. Exhale, open up. And one more time. Inhale through the middle. Exhale, twisted triangle. Then bring that hand down. We're going to lift up our back heel and just take it into a regular lunge. So tummy's in nice and tight. We're in a regular lunge. Left leg is behind us, right leg is in front. We're going to bring the hands down to the mat here for support, and we're going to do 4 jump switch changes. So tummy's in nice and tight, and we go 4, 3, 2, 1, actually one more, so that we end up with the left foot in front. So that adds a little bit of cardio to that sequence, right? So back heel is going to go down perpendicular to the front. We're going to inhale up, just passing through warrior 1, and then open up into warrior 2. So doing the same sequence on this side, starting with a few deep breaths in warrior 2. If you need to catch your breath from those jump switch changes, this is your chance now. So big breaths, in and out through the nose, fill the lungs. Good, and calm the heart rate down. Let's have one more time. Big breath in. And exhale. We're going to straighten out our front leg. Reach, reach, reach with our left hand. Let that hand come down either to the shin or to the floor, wherever you reach, and are able to keep your right shoulder open, your right arm extended, and your front body opened up. Okay, tummy's in nice and tight, pushing that back heel down into the floor for support. Let's have one more big breath in here in triangle, and then we're going to exhale, turn to the middle, and hover over our front leg. So here is where you might want to step that back foot in as we prepare for twisted triangle. So big breath in, lengthen through your torso, and exhale, take it into your twisted triangle, choosing either to have that hand on the inside or the outside of your front foot, opening up the left hand this time, and sinking that right shoulder down, keeping some space between your left shoulder and your left hip. One more big breath in here, nice strong stable legs, engaging through the quads and the abdominals. So let's come back to center. Big inhale here. We're going to exhale, flow between the two now. Exhale into triangle. Inhale through the center. Exhale, triangle, reverse triangle. Inhale through the center. Exhale through triangle. Inhale through the center. And exhale, one more time each side. And inhale. Essential to keep the breath going, right? If you hold your breath, your muscles can't get any oxygen, and they can't do the work that you're asking them to do. So nice, deep, big, deep breaths all the time. So hands coming down, we're bending through our front knee, lifting up our back heel. So we're in a regular lunge, and we're going to take it for 4 jump switch changes. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. From there, let's just step back to plank. Knees, chest, and chin, or lower plank. Cobra, or up dog. You can add a little lower plank push up here for some extra work, or just take it straight into your down dog. Let's bend through the knees and step or hop up to the hands. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come on up to standing, and exhale, flow through a sun salutation. We're going to build on another little sequence. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step or jump back to plank. Knees, chest, and chin, or lower plank, cobra, or up dog. Lower plank push up and sink those heels down. So I just realized there's something I forgot on the other side. So we're going to start with the left leg this time so that we can do our plank crunches on the left side. So starting with dog splits. Here we go, plank crunch, dog splits,
plank crunch, dog splits. Plank crunch, dog splits. One more time, plank crunch, and squeeze and hold, and squeeze and hold, and squeeze and hold. And then step that left foot forward. Grounding the back heel down, perpendicular to the front, inhaling up to a warrior one. So sinking the back heel down, lunging into your front leg, looking for a 90-degree angle again, just as before. So if you're behind here a bit and not working so hard, think about deepening that lunge. And if to deepen your lunge, you end up with your front knee over your toes, step the back foot further out. So here we are in warrior one. Let's inhale, reach up nice and tall. And breathe there, sinking that back heel down all the time. So from there, after one more big breath in, we're going to exhale, reach forward in our warrior one. We're reaching the upper body forward, reaching the fingertips forward, and then we're going to slowly walk the back foot up and then lift it into a warrior three or a balancing warrior. So if this is very, very challenging for you, you can try your airplane arms, and that usually helps with the balance. So let's have the right hip facing down towards the mat, to right toes, lifted toes facing down towards the mat as well. And choose airplane arms or arms extended in front, depending on what your balance is letting you do today. So let's have one more big breath in here. And as we exhale, let's release the hands down to the ground, leaving your left hand on the ground, away and to the side, to the outside of you. And we're going to open up the right hip and the right arm into balancing half moon. So think about facing the side of the room. So really opening the right side of the body, flexing that lifted foot. If you're totally comfortable with your balance, keep lifting that top leg, even bend it, and see if you can catch it with your lifted arm into sugarcane pose. But stay in balancing half moon just as long as you need to get comfortable in that balance. Okay? It helps to have that bottom hand out to the side of it. That gives you a more stable foundation. Okay? And then when you're ready, release that top hand. We're gonna come to face the front of the mat, and we're gonna just keep lifting that lifted leg into a standing splits. Just keep lifting, it doesn't matter how high it goes, just continue to drive that leg up into the air. And then with a big, big step, bending through your standing leg, take that foot down into a lunge. You can take your back knee down here. We're gonna prepare to do pigeon pose. So our front foot, we're gonna take over to the right side of the mat and let the outside of that left leg come on down to the mat, okay? So just take a glance behind you. You want to walk that back foot towards the middle of the mat so that it's not out to the side, okay? And then we're going to bring our hands to the front. We're going to square our hips and lower the hips back down towards the mat so that we're getting a nice, safe, but intense stretch on that outer hip. So if your hips are super tight, bring this front foot really close into the body. If you have a little more mobility in your hips, it can be further away. All right? We're going to just flow with breath here a few times. So inhale, lift the chest up tall, and exhale, just bend the elbows, reach the chest down to the leg. And inhale, come on up tall. Exhale, fold down. One more time. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, release down. Good. So while we're in pigeon, we're going to add a little quad stretch. So no matter where your front foot was before, bring it in close to the body. And we're going to take it down on our right elbow. So we're going to shift our weight to the right, and we're going to bend up that back leg and catch it with our left hand. So that's adding a quad stretch on our back leg. So once you're there, inhale, lengthen through the torso. So each time you pause in a pose, and you're just breathing in that pose, think of where can you create more space. So once we caught that foot and we're here in our quad stretch, we can lengthen through the torso. So always lengthen through the torso, reaching the chest long, so you're creating more space through your front body. And then gradually, you can probably bring that leg in a bit closer. So if you have very tight hamstrings and you caught a cramp when you bent in that back leg, obviously ease off. In time and with a lot of practice, you'll be able to catch that back foot and have a nice quad stretch here in your pigeon pose. All right, so we're gonna release that leg now. We're gonna bring our hands back to the front with your abdominals engaged. Just step back to a plank pose. Knees, chest and chin or lowered plank, cobra or up dog. Lowered plank push up if you want, or just straight into your down dog. So this time we have to do this sequence on the right side. So take a big step forward with your right foot. Let your back foot drop down perpendicular to the front. So we inhale up and we start in our warrior one. So lunging strongly into your front leg, but watching that knee, make sure it's safe. Either over your heel or a bit behind it, and lengthen up through your upper body. Nice tall torso, tummies in nice and tight. And by the way, if this alignment for warrior one bothers your knee, you can make it a crescent lunge. That's fine. Just lift up the back knee, turn your hips, both hips, to face the front. So this feet perpendicular to each other bothers some people, bothers their back, knee, and their hip. So if that is you, just make it a crescent lunge. Totally fine. Okay, no big deal. All right, so let's inhale right here. And as we exhale, we're going to take it into our balancing warrior. So strong lunge, reaching the upper body forward. Just step, step, step that back foot up until you're in a balancing warrior or your warrior three. So strong standing leg. Push both heels away. The heel of the standing leg into the ground, the heel of the lifted foot away from you, squaring the hips to your mat. Strong upper body. Airplane arms if your balance is a little off today. So abdominals in nice and tight. Let's take a big breath in. We're going to exhale and bring that right hand down to the ground. Remember, take it to the outside of it. And then if you're still working on your balance, you can have this top hand resting on your hip as you open up that top hip, open up that top shoulder, then reach up your arm. Back leg is lifting strong. And then maybe you can catch your back foot in your sugarcane pose. So big breath in right here. And as we exhale, let's turn the torso to face the ground and continue to drive that lifted leg up into the air. So lift, 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 lift into your standing splits. Even begin to press your torso in towards your standing leg. So push away with that heel, lift some more, one each more. Inhale and exhale. In a big lunge, take that back foot down, and we're going to take it into pigeon foot pose. So the outside now of our right foot comes down to the mat. Remember, bring that foot in close to the body if your hips are tight. It can be further away if they're nice and loose. And then take a glance at that back leg. Walk it out right behind you rather than out to the side. Okay, and we'll just flow with the breath here. Get used to this pigeon pose. Inhale, lengthen up through the torso, and exhale, fold down. Pigeon pose is just such a great hip opener if you do a lot of walking or running, or you're just one of those people that stores tension in your hips. This is a really great pose to do every day as much as you can. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold down. Let's have one more time. Inhale, lengthen up through the torso, and exhale, fold down. Good. So wherever your front foot was, now let's bring it in close to the body. We're going to have our left elbow come down, and we're going to shift our weight to the right, left. And we're going to bend up our back leg and maybe catch it with your right arm. And then once you've caught it, you can hold on to that leg and use that as leverage to open up your right shoulder, open up your chest and your heart area, and take a big breath in. Lengthen, feel that length through the torso now. Tummy in nice and tight, press away with your back knee and pull in on that back arm. Good. Big breath in here. And then exhale and release. So both hands to the mat with the abdominals engaged. Step back to a plank. Tummy's in nice and tight. Knees, chest, and chin, or lower plank. Cobra or up dog. Lower plank push up, or just meet me in down dog. I just met me in down dog that time. And bend through the knees, step or hop into the hands. Let's take a big breath in right here. And exhale and fold. Inhale, come on up to standing. And exhale, swan dive forward. That means the arms nice and wide, leading with the chest. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, step or jump back to plank. Knees, chest, and chin on lower plank. Cobra or up dog. Lower plank push up and down dog. Let's lift the right leg straight up into dog splits. Plank, crunch. Let's just do 3. Dog splits. Plank crunch. And this is the third one. Plank crunch and hold. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Lift, 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 lift. And step that right foot forward. Ground the back heel down to the floor. Let's inhale up to a warrior 2. So we'll just pass through warrior 1 and then open up into warrior 2. So as far as I know, the warrior 2 stance does not bother most people's knees. But if it does, and you have a modification that you prefer, go ahead. Okay, the only thing is you want to keep this front knee behind that heel or right over it. If you're ready for more work, lunge into it more. If you need to take the back foot out, go ahead and do that. So let's have a big breath in here. And as we exhale, we're going to reach out with our right hand and take it into side angle pose. So you can either have your right arm resting on your upper thigh, or you can take the fingertips down and the top arm reaches up and over. So it's nice if your bottom hand does reach the ground, use it to press, use that arm to press against your front leg, watching your lunge, make sure you're keeping your lunge, and then your top arm opens up and over. So you see the front body is facing the side of the room, that top shoulder is totally open. Okay? Let's have a big breath in here as we reach. And then as we exhale, we're going to come up, pass through our warrior 2, and take it into reverse warrior, also called peaceful warrior. You can choose your hands here. Your bottom hand, you could be no hands, mom. Pushing both hands away in opposite directions. See how we keep the lunge. Or you can have this hand resting down on the thigh, on your waist, wherever you feel comfortable. Tummy's in nice and tight though. The core has to be really engaged for this. We're going to flow through those 2 side angles. So the side angle and into our reverse warrior. So inhale through the center, exhale into your side angle. Inhale through the center, exhale into your peaceful warrior. So you'll probably have felt by now it's a lot of core going on here. You really have to have the abdominals engaged. Okay, one more time each side. Inhale and exhale. So this time let's cartwheel the hands down to the mat. So we're in our lunge, and we're just going to do a bit more hip opening in this lunge. If the full lunge is too intense for you, you can totally let that back heel, the back knee go down. So we're going to have our lizard pose to start. So this can be with the knee down. Okay. So you bend at the elbows, maybe the elbows reach the mat. Really excellent hip opener for this front leg. Okay, let's press it back up onto our hands. We're going to leave the left hand on the mat, and we're going to turn to the right side. You can even take it to the outside of your right foot, so the sole of the foot you can see. Let that right leg drop open. Even use your hand to press on the thigh to open up that right hip a bit more. Good. And then we'll come back to the center. From there, you're going to leave your left hand and your back foot where it is. Step back, bring the legs together into a side plank. Reaching up that top arm if you can. Tummy's in nice and tight. Lots of options to vary your side plank. You can step your front leg in front, still lift up through your hips, right? Also, you can have your bottom knee down. That's also a modified side plank. So you choose whatever you prefer in your side plank. If you're comfortable with it, you can go ahead and lift up your top leg, maybe a tree pose side plank, your choice. So one more big breath in here where we are. And as we exhale, we're going to bring both hands down, and we're going to take your right foot, so we're going to take it over to the other side now. So you're on your right hand, and your left foot's on the ground. Right foot now shoots out in front. Tummy's in nice and tight. Lift, lift, lift as long as you can. And then lower it down. Reach the arm up and over, or just up and out into fallen triangle pose. Good, big breath in, make the space between that front toe and your lifted fingertips just as long as you can. Reach, reach, reach. Good, bring that hand back down, come back to your plank. Knees, chest and chin, or lower plank. Cobra or up dog. Lower plank push up and down dog. So same sequence now on the other side. So dog splits with the left leg lifted and plank crunch. Dog splits, plank crunch. Dog splits and plank crunch and hold. Squeeze, 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 lift, 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 squeeze and lift. And then step that left foot forward. Ground the back heel into the floor. So I'm going to be backing you for a little while now. So inhale, we're just passing through warrior one. Exhale into warrior two. So nice strong lunge. If you can lengthen out those legs to lengthen out the lunge, go ahead. We have to keep challenging ourselves if we want to keep getting fitter. It's not just about flexibility, it's an all-round fitness activity is yoga. Okay, so let's have a big breath in here. And as we exhale, we're taking it into side angle. So reaching with the left arm, either resting that arm on your front thigh or taking the fingertips to the mat, whichever you prefer, reaching the top arm up and over. So you should really feel an awesome lengthening through your obliques on the right side here. Really all the way down through the front of the hip, into the hip flexor even. So let's have a big breath in here. And then we're going to exhale and take it into our reverse warrior. So your right hand can maybe rest on your shin, like the side of your calf, or you can press it out in front. And the top arm up and over to the back. So let's flow between those two now. So inhale and exhale into side angle. Inhale through the center, exhale into reverse warrior. And inhale and exhale. So at your own pace, with your own breath, in your own time, okay? If my speed is a rush for you, you take it at your own speed. That's totally fine. Okay? So one more time. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Good. So cartwheel the hands down. Come into our lunge. Now we're going to take it into our side plank. So leaving the right hand on the mat and the right foot on the mat, stacking your left leg on top into your side angle. So choose one of the modifications like you did before, or if you're feeling adventurous, you can try and lift that top leg up. Maybe you'll grab that foot, but whichever one you do, I was losing my balance there. Whichever one you do, keep lifting the hips. Lift, 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 lift. And then come back to plank. Crunch that left knee in if you can. Take it onto the inside of your right leg. The left leg now shoots out underneath. Keep it lifted just as long as you can. And then lower it down into fallen triangle. Reach the top arm up and over. Good. Big breath in. Let's come on back to our plank. Knees, chest and chin, or lower plank. Cobra or up dog. Lower plank push up if you want. Last one. And down dog. Good. Let's sink those heels. We're going to bring those knees down and we're going to ease the hips back and just take a few breaths in child's pose. So catch your breath. Maybe rock it out. Ease out those hips. That was an active, energetic sequence. So awesome job getting through that. You probably got the heart rate going quite a bit. Maybe even generated a little bit of sweat. I sure did, even on this cold day. So I'm happy about that. Good. So just for our final cool down, we're going to come and sit on your mat. Open the legs out wide. Let's do just a straddle splits. So it doesn't matter how wide those legs get. Once you feel the tightness in your inner thighs and or your hamstrings, then you hold it there. Maybe you have some blocks or bolsters or something that you can bring in front. It's nice if you can get to the point where you can actually rest your head to relax your neck, shoulders, and back in this straddle splits. So a lovely stretch for your inner thighs, for your hamstrings, even your lower back, and of course it's a great hip opener. So if you can find a bolster, maybe a rolled up blanket, your blocks, whatever you have, to reach the point where you can rest your forehead on something, then go ahead and do that. And we'll just spend a few moments just breathing here. So still maybe catching our breath, controlling the breath now in and out through the nose. Good. Take a moment to acknowledge your hard work. Awesome job getting on your mat today. Anytime you get on your mat, your day is going to be just so much better. We all know that, right?
Preaching to the choir if you've done this video. All right, so a few more deep breaths, staying here in our wide leg forward fold. And then when you're done, we'll just bring the soles of the feet together in butterfly pose, just easing out any remaining tension. Holding on to your feet or to your shins, wherever you reach. Inhale, lengthen through the back body, leading with the sternum, right? So it's really no particular benefit to be curling your back and getting your forehead down to your hands. It doesn't really make any difference. Let's prefer to keep a long upper body. A lot of space through the spine. So before we fold forward, we inhale, lengthen through the spine. Then we exhale and fold forward. Maybe bending through your elbows and using your arm strength to pull your body down. That's fine. But keep leading with the chest. Keep your chin up, leading with your chest. A really amazing stretch for the lower back. Good. And then when we're ready, we're going to take it all the way down to the mat. I always like to finish with a little twist for my lower back. I store a lot of tension in my back. I guess a lot of people do. So I like to just roll it down to the mat, give my knees a little hug, and then I'll cross my legs. So left leg crossed over my right, dropping both legs gently over to the left side, letting the right shoulder reach back down, letting my head drop over to the right side, and relax there for a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, uncross the legs before you come on up back to the center, and then cross your right over your left. You don't need to cross the legs. If you prefer just to have the legs together and drop them down to one side, that's totally fine as well. Whatever feels good for your back. One more big breath in here. And exhale and release. Good. Let's give the knees one last hug. Squeeze them in tight. Bring your nose up to your knees. Good. And release. So let's take the legs all the way out, the arms to your side, overhead, wherever you feel comfortable. Take it into full relaxation pose. And let's just spend a few moments here, and truth, spend just as long as you have in relaxation pose. Everything heavy into the ground. Taking a few calm, deep breaths now. So hopefully your heart rate has calmed down, your breathing rate has calmed down. It's just natural breathing now. And take a moment to reward yourself for that work that you did, focusing entirely on your own health and your own mind, taking care of your own self, which is so important. So spend just as long as you can. And then when you're ready to go, slowly come back up to sitting. Maybe take a few nice deep breaths in your easy seat before you go on your way. So namaste. Thank you so much for joining me.